As the search for the missing mother of two, Nicola Bulley, continues, fresh information has been handed to police concerning two individuals who were seen acting suspiciously the day before her disappearance. In this video, I'll be taking a look at these eyewitness accounts and sharing my own views on where we stand currently with the investigation. Two suspicious men spotted by witness near missing Nicola Bulley's dog walking route as police are handed new CCTV. A witness told police he spotted two men acting suspiciously close to Nicola Bulley's dog walk route the day before she disappeared. It came as police took CCTV footage from a garage in St Michael's-on-Wyre covering the 24 hours before the last sighting of the mum. A witness came forward after spotting the pair outside the local church. Significantly, the same person told police he saw one of the men in the vicinity of her usual route on the morning she vanished. Police have also been handed new CCTV footage from a garage covering the 24 hours before Nicola was last seen. The mum of two, 45, went missing while walking her dog Willow more than 2 weeks ago in St Michael's-on-Wyre. Detectives visited St Michael's garage last Thursday, requesting CCTV footage from the day before she vanished. They had already taken images from the day of her disappearance. A garage worker who asked not to be named said, quote, "Two smartly dressed officers, a man and a woman, came in to follow up. They wanted the CCTV from the day before Nicola vanished and to take statements of any activity we had seen from that day. These officers were different to the ones in uniform. They seemed to be very assertive." The employee said of the church sighting, quote, "I know who the witness is and he has already called the police about what he saw. But he said he wanted to make sure they were chasing this up, so I asked the officers about it and they said they were following it up." The worker said the witness, who does not want to go public with his account, described seeing the men acting suspiciously close to the church and around a nearby bridge on January the 26th. He told how the witness said he saw one of them the next day near the bridge, which is at the start of the footpath which Nicola used almost daily. The worker added, quote, "He saw what he saw and wanted to make sure the police followed it up. Whether them collecting the CCTV from the same day is connected, I don't know." Lancashire police had already trawled the area for camera footage and dashcam video from January the 27th, the day Nicola vanished. But as the hunt for Nicola now enters the 17th day, officers are widening the search as part of their ongoing inquiries. The CCTV system at St Michael's garage, which is on the main road running through the village, covers one of the key exit points from the fields where Nicola went missing. The garage worker confirmed the security cameras are in working order and picked up vehicles travelling along the main road. One camera also covers the top of a country lane close to where Nicola was last seen. The church where the two men were seen is very close to the footpath Nicola regularly used, which hugs the River Wyre. The move for additional footage suggests police are becoming more open to the possibility that a mortgage advisor was snatched rather than their main working hypothesis that she fell into the River Wyre in a tragic accident. It comes after Nicola's distraught partner, Paul Ansell, 44, revealed his own fears that a local is keeping secret about what happened to her. He said he is, quote, 100% convinced that his partner of 12 years did not fall into the river. Yesterday, a police helicopter was spotted landing several times upstream near Garstang, while search teams were seen checking the river closer to the Irish Sea. On Friday, distraught Paul told 5 News in a revealing TV interview that he believes Nicola's mobile was left behind as a decoy. He claimed a local is harbouring a dark secret and called for searches to be stepped up in the village. Paul said, quote, "You cannot walk your dog down a river and just vanish into thin air. Something happened that day." Okay, so what are my own thoughts on this recent development concerning the case of missing Nicola Bulley? The first thing that I want to draw your attention to is again a bit of poor reporting here in this particular newspaper where it states the following. The CCTV system at St Michael's garage, which is on the main road running through the village, covers one of the key exit points from the fields where Nicola went missing. Now, having read that and realising it's just up the road from the bridge over the River Wire, I assumed, okay, maybe this garage has a view down to the footpath, down to the towpath, where Nicola would start and end her walks. But let me just say this categorically. There is no camera at that garage that covers her entry and exit points. I need to make that absolutely clear to you at home. There is no camera from that garage that covers her entry and exit on that walk. Now, I covered this area extensively in a video that I released yesterday, which is titled Nicola Bulley, My Theory on Her Disappearance. The towpath, the footpath, the area where Nicola Bulley would start and end this walk is not covered by CCTV. Yet this hasn't been mentioned by the police. This hasn't been put out there in the media. It's not some big headline. It seems to be completely overlooked and overshadowed. And all these other CCTV cameras of the upper field and cameras here, cameras there, dash cam footage. Why are they not talking about the fact that they didn't see Nicola Bulley start this walk and they didn't see where she would have ended it? What do you think the police are going to do when they turn up there originally? There's a missing person. They get to the scene. There's a bench. There's a harness and a phone in the vicinity of that bench, and it's next to the river. The first thing that they're going to do is speak to her partner, Paul, and say, where was she heading? Which direction was she heading from? And where was she going after this walk? He would say, she dropped the kids off at school. She would have walked over the bridge, up the towpath, and the walk would have continued on from there. And on her way back, she would have followed the same route, as shown by her Strava account, by the previous walks that she has taken in that exact area. She would double back at the end of her walk and exit the same way that she enters. Yet it's never been made a big deal that there's no CCTV of it. There's no CCTV of Nicola starting that walk. There's no CCTV of her ending the walk or where she would have exited from. And I cannot stress enough, I mean, how many times do I have to say this? It is paramount. How can the police turn up on site there, on scene, and say, we don't believe that there's any criminal activity taking place here. We don't believe this is a criminal investigation. Well, how do you know that, though? What, just because there are a couple of items next to a river? Is that why you're making that assumption? Because you don't have anything, evidentially speaking, to suggest that this woman hasn't been abducted. You haven't sealed off the scene. You've done some evidence gathering, I believe. You've done some evidence gathering at the bench. Well, what does that mean? Picking up the lead and harness? Does that mean dusting for prints? Does that mean sealing off the area? Because it doesn't, does it? They've immediately got there and thought, okay, this woman's fallen into the river, end of story. They came out straight away and said, this woman, we believe, has fallen into the river. We're open to other possibilities, but we don't believe that this is a criminal investigation. How could they have known that at that point in time when there's no CCTV showing her entering or exiting? If they had a camera there and she goes on the walk, but then she doesn't come out again, yeah, fair enough. You would assume, okay, we can see her entering this walk, but we can't see her going out. That must mean that she hasn't come back from that location. There's items here by the bench. She's probably fallen into the river. That would make complete sense to me. But the fact that they haven't seen her start or finish the walk, how can they make such a quick assumption without any physical evidence? It's also quite interesting when national newspapers use paragraphs such as this. The garage worker confirmed the security cameras are in working order and picked up vehicles travelling along the main road. One camera also covers the top of a country lane, close to where Nicola was last seen. Who gives a toss about those other cameras? Why is there so much focus on multiple cameras in the vicinity of where she walked, when actually no one is paying attention to the fact that there is no CCTV camera at the location where she starts and exits? I mean, why is that not even mentioned? Why are all these other CCTV cameras talked about? It's almost like it's overshadowing the fact that where she starts and exits the walk is not covered by CCTV. That's the most paramount and important point in this entire investigation. It should tell the police very early on that we cannot say for certain that Nicola hasn't been abducted because we don't have CCTV covering that particular area. But not a big deal of this has been made at all. There's so much discussion about other CCTV cameras which are on the top field, or cameras at this garage which might catch the top of a lane, which overlooks a field, which overlooks another field. Who cares about those cameras? Who cares about those cameras? The only camera that matters is one that doesn't actually exist. A camera that would have seen Nicola start and finish her walk. So now moving back to this particular article and these eyewitness accounts. I mean, is it any wonder that we are now hearing of suspicious individuals lurking around an area which is not covered by CCTV? Surprise, surprise. We now have two suspicious individuals who were seen right near that bridge, or at least one of them was seen right near the bridge, right near the start, right near the exit point of Nicola Bulley's walk. Is that a massive monumental surprise? No. So why wasn't that looked at? Why wasn't this looked into? Or at least, why weren't the police open to this particular possibility? I'm not saying they were completely closed off, but the impression that they've given to the public is that, okay, yes, we're open to suggestions, we're open to your information, but we do strongly believe that she's fallen into the river. You know, very, very odd, very strange. It's no surprise to me, it's absolutely no surprise to me that I woke up this morning, I checked the news, and we have, oh look, here we go, surprise, surprise, there are suspicious individuals seen near that location where she would start and exit the walk. Exactly what I said yesterday. This area is the most important area, the most important place in the entire investigation. The place that is not covered by CCTV. My biggest fear in this entire case, as it stands at present, is that the police attended this scene, and bearing in mind, this is just my own personal opinion, this is just my own viewpoint on what's taken place here, and I may be wrong. It may well be that Nicola Bulley is found this coming week. Who knows? This is just my own viewpoint, as I say. My biggest fear is that the police have attended this location. They have seen the bench, they've seen these items, and immediately assumed that Nicola fell into the water. They've come out publicly and stated they do not believe that this is a crime scene. They do not believe that any criminal activity has taken place. They believe this is a tragic accident. This is straight after this woman has gone missing. My problem with that is that at this point in time, they know that there's no CCTV covering that entrance and exit. They also know that they haven't got all of the information from the 700 drivers that are passing by that lane on the morning of her disappearance. So why come out with such statements such as, we don't believe that any crime has taken place here. We don't believe this is a crime scene. I mean, are you saying that because when you attended, you didn't secure the area? Is that why you are saying that? Because that's the obvious question, isn't it? If they said, we are open to the possibility that Nicola has been abducted, and then a news reporter says, well, why didn't you seal the crime scene off then? You know, why is there no cordon? Why are you allowing members of the public to walk around this bench to tread on potential evidence? It's not going to go down particularly well, is it? And from there, we've had this constant, I guess, barrage of information that, you know, she's in the river. We believe she fell in. Tragically, we believe that Nicola fell into the river. Okay, she's not in the river. Oh, okay, she might be in the sea now. Really? Really? I mean, surely you get there, you realise, okay, she's approached from the school, she's come over the bridge, this is the entry, this is where she walks in, let's look at her Strava account, let's look at what she's done, you know, on a frequent basis. Bearing in mind, the police have way more data than we do, way more information, way more experience, way more information to be able to make, you know, assessments. I can make an assessment just looking at her public Strava account. It's bloody obvious. She starts the walk here, she ends the walk here, we can't see her starting, we can't see her finishing. Therefore, we need to be open-minded and say to the public, look, we've got a few hypotheses here. One is that she's left by her own accord. The second is that she's fallen into the river. Or three, she may have been abducted. But that is not what has happened in this investigation. I am actually starting to suspect that there is no CCTV of Nicola Bulley on her walk on the morning of January the 27th. Yes, we've had the doorbell footage released showing Nicola Bulley exiting her home address on the morning she disappeared. But it's very odd that the police have not released anything in terms of CCTV. Is that because there isn't any? And is this completely overlooked and overshadowed by the fact that they keep speaking about, you know, this area being very well covered by CCTV? certain cameras which are working, certain cameras which are not, blind spots here, blind spots there, 700 vehicles which we're looking at for dashcam footage. Are they making it appear that this area is very well surveilled, yet they don't have any CCTV of Nicola Bulley on her walk whatsoever? I'm actually starting to believe that that is a possibility here, that there is no CCTV of Nicola Bulley on her actual walk. I mean, considering that this is classed as a missing person inquiry, and that is what it's classed as by the police themselves, usually in these situations, there is a massive amount of information that is released by the police. Photographs, CCTV footage, still images of this individual on their walk that day. But we've had nothing. Absolutely nothing released officially by the police. Where are the official flyers? Where is the CCTV? Is it because it doesn't exist? Because if it became public and it was well known that there was no CCTV of Nicola Bulley on her walk, my God, that's a question and a half, isn't it, to have to answer? If you've immediately said she's fallen in the river and we don't believe a crime has taken place here, but there's no CCTV of Nicola on her walk, that doesn't look good, does it? As I said, this is speculation. This is just my own personal viewpoint here. But I do find this, very, very odd. And when I refer to her walk, I'm not so much talking about the walk from the school to the towpath. I'm talking about what happens after this point. When she goes over the bridge, she goes along the towpath. I just don't think there's any CCTV which has caught her on the actual walk itself, the route that she would have taken. Which then leads more questions back to the police, doesn't it? And their undying certainty that this individual fell into the River Wyre. Whatever happens regarding this case, if this does turn out to be anything other than a tragic accident, this area, as I said in my previous video, is incredibly important. Where she would normally start this walk and where she would end it is of paramount importance to this investigation. And no, it does not surprise me that now we have suspicious individuals seen near the church, which is just a stone's throw away from the start of her walk, from the start of this location, which is not covered by CCTV. It doesn't surprise me at all. This area needs to be focused on. This area needs to be looked into by police and anyone else looking into this case. If you wish to learn more about yesterday's video, which covers this area in a lot more detail, I will put up a video in front of you now, which I released yesterday, which is titled Nicola Bulley, My Theory on Her Disappearance. Do feel free to check that out. Click on it if you wish to do so. And as always, many thanks for joining me for this particular video. If you enjoyed this content, please do give the video a thumbs up down below and subscribe to the channel. And I look forward to seeing you all again for the next one. Take care. Cheers.